Welcome to Gabbin with Gavin.
Gavin Clark is one of the co-owners of Vintage 905 and joins us. Hello, Gavin.
Gavin Clark has been selling vintage clothing in downtown Whitby for over 3 years.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Gabbin with Gavin. We have got our first live guest. This is pretty exciting. Episode 1, we had two remote interviews. We got our first guest in studio today.
History.
It's history in the making. You guys are all witnessing history right now. We've got platinum producer, Grammy nominated, friend of the store, all around cool guy, DZL. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for being here today, dude.
Appreciate you guys having me, man.
Of course, man. Of course. We got to look out for the Durham guys, you know?
Always, man. Always.
That's awesome. So DZL's you've got hits, man. You've got tracks with Ty Dolla $ign, Jeremiah, Future, Jazmine Sullivan, which is crazy. We're gonna get way into that.
Yeah.
Man, like you've been all over the place, man. And you have a very, very cool kind of origin story. Tell everybody about how you got started in music and.
So I came from kind of a musical family. My parents were actually both ministers. So I came up in the church. I played drums when I was like 11 years old. I played drums for the church. And so I kind of grew up like my brothers all play instruments. I have 3 brothers, and they all kind of play instruments. Some of them sing too. So that's kind of like where it started. You know, I was lucky to have, like, my mom was super into music. She was into jazz and stuff like that. So, and my grandmother is actually a piano teacher back in India. So just like kind of in the genetics, I guess, and just, you know, just culturally, my family was like very into that. So I was lucky, you know, just to have parents that kind of pushed me in that from the start. And, obviously that played a big part of me getting into, like, production and stuff like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is that something you kind of, like, always remember growing up, like music being in the house? And
Yeah, like, not necessarily the music that I make now, but definitely church music. A lot of Kenny G also, man. Shout out Kenny G. And it was always kind of a part of us growing up, you know, especially I think anyone that's grown up in church, you know, they've always kind of been exposed to, like, very musical music, like, you know, because church music is, like, complex, especially when you get into, like, gospel and, you know, Kirk Franklin and shit like that. So, like, definitely, you know, that played a big part in my, like, early ear, I would say, yeah.
So when you were 10, playing drums in the church band, did you ever think, like, did you want to be in a band? Did you want to be a singer?
Actually, I was in a band.
With your brothers?
No, I was in a band with, like, some of my homies from school, from, like, my elementary school. It must have been 11 to, like, 13, just for a couple years. We wrote a couple songs.
Okay.
They were shit. But it was cool, you know, just to, like.
What kind of music was it?
Yo, it was like death metal, bro. Not gonna lie, it was like death metal, like rock music, and yeah, it was kind of crazy, to be honest, but it was cool. Like, that was, you know, like the rager days, like.
That's hilarious, man. We were talking right before we hit record on this that there might be a couple exclusives for the podcast, and I think one of them might be we got to get that death metal track out.
I don't know if that was gonna
if we
surface,
drop it on
bro.
Full World.
I don't know if that one's gonna surface. I'll see what I can do, but you know, unfortunately, this was before MP3s. This was before all that shit. So, like, it might be tough to dig that up. I probably have, like, a VHS of that shit, like, you know.
It's funny, man. The young bucks listening are like, what is he talking about? How did he get on a VHS?
Yeah, no, that was the throwback days, man. For
yeah,
sure,
man, that's hilarious. Did you ever think, like, you know, was production something that was even on your radar, like, growing up? When did you start making beats?
I started making beats around 14, 15. Yeah, so I randomly, one of my older brothers had downloaded, like, a demo of Fruity Loops on the Windows, like, 2000, whatever that shit. And I stumbled on it one day, and I was just like, what is this? This shit looks cool as fuck. And I was just putting in my kicks and my snares and stuff. And like back then, like on the demos, like you can't save it.
You could never.
You could just export it.
So
this is probably like version like 3. I think it was like 3.14, like the Pi version, some shit. Like it was crazy.
The Pi, yeah.
But yeah, I just started fucking around doing basic like drum patterns, and I would just like export them out and like burn them onto CDs and shit. So like that's kind of how I started. But honestly, like I started getting into like rap music more like around like Get Rich or Die Trying. Like I remember it was like 8th grade, and I was like just starting to like get into like, I was like, yo, 50 Cent is so hard, and like Lil Wayne, like Carter One, like just crazy shit. So that shit like really kind of influenced me. And then obviously I had heard about, you know, Boy Wonder at that time. That was like when Drake first was like coming up. He had like Replacement Girl and like those records like way back. So
the good old days.
Yeah, the good the good old days. But I had heard about T Minus, who was also producer from Durham. And
massive producer from our area.
Huge. It's my brother all the way. Yo, shout out T Minus. Also, it's my dog.
Hell yeah.
And he had a MySpace page. MySpace.
Anybody young listening to this is like, what are these old men reminiscing about?
But he had this one beat called the Rain Beat, and it was like this sample from this band called Brighter Side of Darkness, which is like an old band. They had this song, The Rain. Like a lot of people had sampled it, like Stack Bundles. Even like more recently, Mario. I don't know if you remember that Mario Nicki Minaj song was like, "You left me for something."
Oh, okay, yeah. It's yes.
I don't. Same sample, but he had this beat with it, and it was like crazy. And I listened to that shit like 1,000 times a day, and I was like, "Yo, I need to meet this dude. Like, I really need to meet him." And I ended up just getting connected with him through some friends, some people like that knew him that came to my church, and we ended up like connecting, and it was just like crazy. And that was like meeting him and kind of like listening to his beats for the first time, like really inspired me to like, okay, like I want to do this shit, you know, like for sure. So it was just like kind of like a full circle moment, just like, you know, looking up to him and then getting to like sit down with him and like chop it up.
At this point, you're kind of making beats, but not sure. Like, are you putting them out? This is when you were putting them on CD and like.
Yeah, like I was.
Did you slip T Minus a tape?
I mean, I definitely showed him shit. I was making good. I was making good shit. Like it was at the point where like people around me were like, "Yo, this shit's hard. Like this is not." You know, and I was young. I was like 14, 15. So people were like, "Yo, this is fire!" Like,
you noticed it wasn't just friends like giving you the pat on the back, like, "Hey, yeah,
like,
hey."
Actually, like, "Yo, this is good." You know, so I was like, I really loved it, and like I would just do it all day. Like once I kind of figured out how to put keys and stuff on top of the drums, I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
At this point, had you bought the full version of Fruity Loops?
I'm gonna say I did, but
yeah,
I didn't. No, I didn't buy it. I forget how I got it. I think actually T Minus, I think, cracked it for me, or like got someone to like give me a crack for it or some shit like that. So like that's how I ended up getting the full version. That was like a total game changer, just to be able to like, you know, save tracks and go back to them, listen back. Like I used to have like, I would have like 20 Fruity Loops open with different ideas and just keep my computer on all the time. Cause I was like, yo, if I shut it down, it's a wrap. So like, yeah, so that was definitely like a game changer, just like getting the full version and being able to like actually save shit, you know?
Of course.
Early days.
Man, it's so funny, right? How like technology was just so different for us back then, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, I mean, but then you think about the generation before us, and it's like, you know, they were recording all like the samples manually and
on tape.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, I would have killed for a Fruity Loops demo.
That's what I mean. It's crazy, bro. Like, but it's, you know, it's nuts to even think about. Like, yo, we were live before the internet,
man,
before the first home computer, before like all this shit. Like this is in our lifetime, you know, like.
It's funny, man. We're around the same age, and
Yeah.
I kind of say sometimes, like, we're one of the generations who, like, we kind of had no internet, and then, like, then we've got the phones around all. Like, we've seen it all kind of thing. Like,
the transition of technology just taking over kind of thing.
do you find that's something that, like helps you in the industry? Just the fact that, like, you've come up, you know how to communicate with artists and other, like, whatever through Instagram, but you also, you know, are from the day where you had to call people up or just show up and talk. Like, do you find that being personable, being social like that?
I mean, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's good for the new guys. You know, it's an advantage for sure because it's like everyone kind of has the same platform. You know, to me, it's like there's no advantage to being a 10-year producer or a 1-year producer. You know what I'm saying? If you have the ability to make something that an artist wants, then you have the accessibility to get it to that artist almost instantaneously. Like, it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of it's annoying for someone like me who's like spent the years and years networking and traveling and going to LA and New York and going to these places to like get my shit heard, when now it's just like, you know, rappers go on Instagram like, yo, send me beats to this email, and everyone's like, it's like flooding it down. So it's like it's a good thing and a bad thing, because I think with that also comes like oversaturation, you know, in the sense of where music is just everything sounds the same, or we're just bombarded with new songs daily. Like, yo, 1 million songs a day are coming out, like, and you know, there's not many standouts. So it's like we're oversaturated with kind of mediocre things, because it's like a rush to stay relevant all the time and like keep dropping music to be heard. So it's like, it's kind of give or take, you know?
Yes, it's like nothing's perfect, right? There's some good, some bad, but I do agree with what you're saying in the sense that like somebody will drop a project and then a month later we're like, all right, when's the next thing coming? Like, you know, we don't really take time. Like before, you know, you went out, you bought a record, like you'd listen to it for a month, like.
And those are the days like that I miss. Like I used to go. I remember when like Lloyd Banks, like Hunger for More dropped, and I went and lined up outside of HMV and bought that shit, and it was like such a moment for me to have that, because I was like, yo, no one in my class has this shit yet, and I like went home and I was just like memorizing the song so that when they got it, I would be cool, because I already knew all the lyrics.
So funny, man.
It's crazy, bro.
That's like one of the most relatable things. I remember I skipped school to get G-Unit Beg for Mercy in like 2003. It was the same thing. I was like, I got this before everybody else. Like, man,
it's crazy.
It's
bro.
such a but like that was the shit though.
Yeah.
Like collecting CDs
For sure.
and like
I still have my case.
Yeah.
My, like, you know,
do you have the
car
book
case with the
yes. Yep.
Yep, I still have that shit, bro. All my beat mix CDs that I made.
Oh, yeah?
Plus all, like, the G-Unit, the game shit. I love the game, too. And then, obviously, like, fuck, I was big with, like, Lloyd Banks. He was, like, that was, like, my guy. Like,
That's amazing,
man. He was, like, the lyricist, you know?
Yes. Oh, man. That G-Unit crew, like, that was fun back in the day, man.
Wasn't crazy about Yayo or Young Buck, and, you know, I think time kind of...
They were, yeah. For
Tom kind of, you know, followed up on them, and you know they weren't really down with the unit.
Lloyd Banks was the punchline king, though, man.
Trust me, he was the guy, man. I'm so fly. Jeez.
Well, you brought it up, so I'm gonna jump over the play. I wanted to kind of go in order a little bit here, but you touched on Game's one of your favorite artists. I listened to an interview you did recently where you talked about your first time going out to LA. And and you did a session with Game.
That was crazy, bro. It's actually a kind of a funny story, but so yeah, the very first time I went to LA, I think it was 2012 or 2013 maybe, and no idea what to expect. You know, I went out there with a friend of mine, Matthew Burnett, who's like he's done all the Daniel Caesar stuff, super talented guy. And so we went out there. I had no plans, no sessions. We just went out there to see what was good. So we went and had a couple meetings with some labels and stuff like that. And then first of all, I went to Interscope, and I had a song with Kendrick. And and I had let someone know that I had this record with Kendrick, and they're like, "Oh, you want to meet the president of Interscope?" And I kind of knew him through T minus, this guy Manny, really cool guy, and I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So I went and had a meeting with him, and I told him about this record. I was like, "Yo, I got this record with Kendrick that Boy Wonder had actually placed it," and he was like, "Oh, Kendrick." He's like, "You want to meet him? He's right over here." I was like, "What?" My first time in LA, I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." So he takes me across the street. So where Interscope office is across the street is Aftermath. So it's like Dr. Dre's studio right across the street. So I literally walked over there. He walked me into the room.
Are you freaking out?
Kendrick's just sitting there. My heart was beating out of my chest. Kendrick's just sitting on the couch. I was like, yo, I did this beat, the sneaking beat. It's called Sneaking, was like the name of the beat. And he was like, "Bro, that was you?" He's like, "Dog, that beat is crazy. Like, yo, you got to come back tonight. Let's do a session." I was like, "Yeah." So so we ended up going back, doing a session with him, just playing a bunch of beats, talking to him for a while. And like, that was just a crazy experience, just because he was like, this is like right after like Good Kid, Mad City times. And like, that's like, to me, that's his classic project.
Absolutely.
Like, hands down. So it was just like, it was just a crazy moment just to, he was like my favorite artist at that time. And I was just like, damn, like I really just got to sit down in the studio with Kendrick and fucking chop it up with him.
Did T minus worked on Good Kid, Mad City, right?
Yeah, he did Swimming Pools.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy. They should have got a Grammy for that.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that's another episode.
But with the game, sorry, I kind of
man,
around that.
If you got a Kendrick story, you throw it in anytime.
But with the game shit, so I think it was the day before that. No, day after that. Matt had talked to Stat Quo, who was the game's manager, and he's like, "Yo, come pull up and play beats." So we have these 3 beats that we knew were like, if we play them, it's over. Like, he's gonna go on these ones. So the first beat we played, it was just like crazy. So we're in there, and there's a bunch of people in there. He's going off. He's like, "Holy shit, like, y'all can't give me this type of beat. Like, I'm the one, like, for this shit." So he starts going off on this beat, and he was there with like Elijah Blake.
Okay, man.
And I forget who else. There's a couple other people there, but they were writing together. So Elijah Blake did a hook on it, and then the game just like rapped his shit quick, because he writes quick as fuck. And so we did that record, then we did another one. And it's kind of funny. There was like this dude in the studio that was standing behind me, and I was like sitting down. Oh no, actually I was standing up, because I got up. This dude was behind me, and all of a sudden I feel like someone like fall on me, like, and I like turned around, and this dude had collapsed, like totally just collapsed, fainted in the studio.
Oh
like,
shit.
And like
he
was sober, like.
Oh no, he just had like
he like some shit
like overheated, or
I don't know.
And you're just like I just got here.
But this dude just collapsed, bro, in the studio.
Jesus.
And like, S1 was there. I don't know if you know S1. He's a big time producer. He did like Power for Kanye, and he's dope as fuck. But his wife was there too, and she like picked him. She like picked this guy up, and he was like all disoriented, and she's like, "Yo, come here, honey." Like, dash some water on his face, and
Jesus.
And then he left the room, and Game was like, "Man, y'all beats is too hard, bro." He's like, "Y'all beats is way too hard, bro." He's like, "This dude, the beat made the man die." Like, yo, that shit was crazy, bro.
Man.
Yeah, that was like, fuck. I'll never forget that
That's
day.
Man.
Yeah.
It's too bad he couldn't have too bad he wasn't in the booth or something. You could have had that sample.
Bro.
Game saying Diesel beats just knock you out.
Yo, literally, bro. The man just passed out.
That's amazing.
It was crazy.
So was it kind of like some beats that you knew would be good for him, or did you have game beats, like stuff that you made specifically to show him?
I mean, I knew Matt had a relationship with Stat Quo, because Matt was signed to Boy Wonder for a few years, so he had like done a bunch of stuff with Drake. I think he'd done some stuff with Game and a few, like, he did a bunch of records. So he did like Not Afraid to Eminem, and which was a
Massive.
diamond,
Yeah.
diamond record, huge record. So I kind of like, we were kind of making, like, at the time that was the sound too. Like that was cool. Like that's that boom bap kind of like, that just hard boom bap shit, like, which the Game is kind of, that's his shit. So like that was the sound of like what we were working on at the time. So we had just like, there was 3 records. We're like, yo, if we ever get in the studio with the Game, these beats are the ones that are going off. And
Damn,
like,
man.
that's exactly what happened. So
That must have been so satisfying
Yeah.
knowing like that.
Yeah.
That's great too, knowing like you've got the right ear to, like, not just you're great at making beats,
yeah.
okay, this is for this artist, and like to see them react, like,
Oh yeah. It was like, I was happy as fuck. I was just like, yeah, it's perfect.
I love it, man. That's yeah. Sorry to jump around on you, but
No,
I had to get
all
that
good.
one out.
All good, bro.
Let's back up just a little bit. I want to just kind of get back to where you were, kind of in this time period where you're getting the beats out. We know each other through the store, and like for me, you bought like a Wu-Tang shirt, you bought a Neil Young shirt.
Yep.
Like you're all over the place. Ice Cube, like is that how your personal music like preferences are? Do you listen to everything, or?
I mean, I try to. Now it's like I'm in a place where I'm really open to like new styles and stuff like that. Like I think music is kind of it's really become a job in a sense where it's hard for me to listen to things for enjoyment, whereas like the average consumer or listener, like they need music to get through their day. Like for me, it's like I need to not hear music sometimes to get through my day, because it's like I'm constantly, my brain is just critiquing and always like thinking, yo, how can I do this better? Even when I hear a hit song, I'm like, I would have changed that. I wouldn't have done that. I would have took this snare out. I would have moved this kick. I would have chose a different 808 or, whatever. Like my mind is always thinking like that. So now I just want to listen to things that are just like pleasing to me, that have no set direction. So I'm like, just listening to like weird, different shit.
Yeah.
Just shit that like, I wouldn't usually tap into.
What's an example? Like what's something people wouldn't think you listen to that's on the playlist?
That's a good question, bro.
Because I do know what you mean completely, man. Like I hear like with stand-up comedians and that, they're
Yeah.
always like, I can't watch special because it's like, I would have done the timing slightly different.
Yeah.
I would have told this joke a little different.
Yeah. I mean,
It's crazy when the thing you love becomes like work, right?
I know,
But it is like,
it is. But it's like that's how you become the best, I think, in any sense, you know what I'm saying? It's great for inspiration when you love it, because then you're inspired just naturally, but it's like when you really sit down and like, yo, how can I, in anything, like even in your business, right? It's like, you guys have a love for vintage, but it's like you got to sit down, create a business model, create like, yo, how can we do this better than the other people in this area? How can we offer better prices? How can we have better content? How can we have, a better online presence, a better online store, and then also a great in-store experience, right? So it's the same across any business field. I think has the same kind of aspects to it, right?
and it's so hard to see from the outside too, man. Because like with either of us, it's like, that's cool, man. You do music all day, and you get to like play with clothes all day. Like, but it's like, oh man, you don't see all like, if the beats just came to you, like, you know what I mean? It'd be awesome if you were just got to hang out.
Sure. And sometimes it is like that,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes it's, I'm sure like sometimes you're trying to get, certain pieces and it falls through.
Exactly.
And then other times it's like you get a golden nugget just handed to you, and it's like, oh shit. So that's just kind of
It's
just
life,
like
right?
the struggle,
Yeah,
right? It's like
for real.
the back and forth of everything. But I mean, it's definitely to me it's kind of like, it's sad because I feel like so many people rely on music on a daily basis just to like get to work, get through their workouts, get home,
Man.
cook, whatever. It's like they need music playing all the time, because it's like it's a constant endorphin that's just making them feel good, and it's like I can't enjoy that shit in the same way.
Yeah, that's a crazy way to think about it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people use music as a soundtrack to life, right? Like, you're sad, you put
Exactly.
sad. Yeah, that's a crazy way to think about it, man.
Yeah.
So show some love to your artists and producers, everyone. They're out here doing this for you.
Exactly. And labels, make sure you pay the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole. That's another episode completely.
Man,
bro.
I'm not in the industry, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
I can't like speak on it, but like everything I've ever heard from, it's
Yeah,
it's a crazy business.
It's tough, man, and it's just kind of like the producers are, you know, they do the most work in a sense, and they get paid the last.
The backbone, man. Like you don't have it's a poetry reading without
Mhm.
a producer. Like you know,
Exactly.
you can write crazy stuff, but
Especially
without a
music
beat,
nowadays too, where the beat is really
it's
selling the song. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these, like no names or anything, but a lot of the new artists, they're going in that shit one taking it, no content, no direction. They're not sitting down. They're not like creating a record. They're just like whatever sounds cool. And it's like if they have a big enough presence online, that shit's gonna sell.
Yep.
So-
Yeah. It's a whole new era, man.
crazy.
It's crazy. I can remember. I won't say any names or anything, but a friend of mine, we were talking about an artist, and I was kind of like they're trash sort of thing. Like what do you like about them? Like, oh, I like the beats and the features they get.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you don't like that artist. Then it's like you like the producer and the other artist they work with. Like
And they probably don't even know what the producer is.
guaranteed, man. Yeah, it's a crazy thing where it's like you guys are as prominent, if not more, than the person rapping on the track, and it's like I mean, there are some mega producers. Like, don't
For
get me
sure,
wrong,
yeah.
but it's like not like in the sense that there's mega rappers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that'll ever switch? Do you think it'll ever become like a 50-50 sort of thing?
Sure,
Like,
yeah. I think there was a point where it was, and I
Okay.
think there's going to be a point where it comes back. I think music is like art and fashion in the sense where the trends, they come and go, right?
Full
I think,
circle.
you know, I think real music is actually starting to kind of inch back. And I say real music not to shade the trap shit. I like the trap shit too, but I just think you know, what I came up on was a higher caliber of artistry than what is, you know, now it's more just about online shit. So I think it's definitely coming back. I think we need an artist like Kendrick or J. Cole, someone that has depth and real, you know, lyrical ability to drop something that's gonna kind of change people's mindsets. Like Good Kid, Mad City, 2014 Forest Hill Drives. Like we need a classic like that. Even some shit from Drake that's gonna, you know, not him doing what other people are doing, but him doing like, you know, a Take Care, or him doing like Nothing Was the Same, like a vibe like that that's gonna just kind of shift the culture a little bit into more of a positive, artistic place as opposed to, you know, just the same shit that everyone else is on.
Yep.
Yeah.
let me ask you, if you had to guess, who do you think it'll be that puts that album out? Kind of the one that brings it. I do think it is circling back that way.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know Cole, on a personal level, and I think he's definitely got some shit. I haven't heard the whole project. He's got a couple in the works, so I'm not sure. I'm actually hoping it's Kendrick, to be honest. I think we haven't had Kendrick in a minute, and I think a new Kendrick album that would just be perfect right now, like, cause that was like, he was like, when he first came out, and like Section 80, all that shit, like it was just like,
I remember hearing
different.
like rigor mortis,
yeah,
and just being like, what is going on?
yeah,
Like,
crazy shit,
man.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's a great answer. Just as a fan, this isn't even a good question. Do you
Yeah.
think we're ever gonna get that Kendrick J. Cole project? Can you put in a word for us?
I can put in a word.
All right. Let
put
them know.
in a
Let them
word.
know we're waiting, man.
It might fall on deaf ears, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Appreciate that.
But I definitely know that they're super cool, and they have been working together. So
It's promising.
I mean, it's not my place to say, but shit, if it happens, it's gonna be special.
It's gonna
bro.
be, yes,
for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Let me okay, so let's back up here a little bit. So we're in let's go back to, you're connecting with T Minus. You're getting your name out there. People are starting to feel your projects. Who's the first sort of major artist that sort of that maybe you reached out to, or you got connected with and was feeling your stuff you worked with?
Actually, it was Kid Ink. Kid Ink, man.
Kid Ink was huge.
LA, man, yeah.
Like,
Kid Ink, bro. Got his email from this site online. I can't remember what it was called. It was like pretty much a site where you could submit records and they would go into a pool, and it was like industry artists had access to it.
oh, so it's almost like a LinkedIn almost for like
Kind of,
beat
yeah.
makers and artists.
I can't remember what it was called, but I got his like email at like the perfect time. Like it was right before he was kind of blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like super on the come up, but it was before like Show Me and before like his big like, you know, Main Chick, all those records. So
Man, he was selling like crazy at one. Like people
Yeah.
kind of forget about Kid Ink.
Nah,
He's
he's big, man. And that's my bro. Like every time I go to LA, I always go and see him, you know, and I always like make sure that I go do a session with him, give him a pack, talk to him, talk to his manager, cause like they gave me my first shot, my first look, my first plaque too.
Hell yeah.
So it was like, definitely him, man. So we did a few songs. I think we did like 5 or 6 records, and then I think one of them came out, but this was like SoundCloud days, and so it was like he was independent. The record came out on SoundCloud. Wasn't really. There was no money in it. It was a mixtape kind of thing, and then like, we had done a few more joints after that, and kind of like, he was just trying to figure things out at that point too, like, you know, because he was blowing up so fast that it was like he had to come with those singles. So then he dropped Show Me, and shit was out of here.
Yeah.
Huge record, and then I was lucky to get 2 on that album, yeah, the album ended up going gold a couple years after that, and it was dope, man. I did one on there with Tyga,
Yep.
Is You Down, and one with King Los. King Los also very underrated.
King Los is a
Super fire.
spitter, absolutely.
Super fire, yeah.
No, hell yeah, man. Shout out Kid Ink. That's
Yeah.
amazing to hear, man.
Shout out my boy Ink, man. You already know.
You know what track I love that you guys did, man? The more recent one. Fuck is you doing?
Yeah.
Man. That's a
Yeah.
crazy beat. I play that in here quite a bit,
Yeah.
man. I like that track a lot.
You see me in the video?
You're in the video? Shit, I only throw it on Spotify here. I never seen the video.
Man, yeah.
Damn, we're pulling this. This is gonna be some video
I'm
footage
I'm
for
right in the intro, bro.
No, I've only heard the audio, man. That's
It's funny because I was actually in LA when they shot the video, and they were like, "Yo, come pull up to the video shoot." So I went by, and I wasn't actually in a couple of his videos from records that we had done, and I didn't plan on being in it, and they were like, right before I was about to leave, they were like, "Yo, you're not trying to get the cameo?" And I was like, all right, fuck. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Oh man, yeah, we're gonna have to find those. That's great. You really flex the acting chops or what?
I mean, it's a light one, but it came on at the right time. You know, right when my tag drops, and then it's like,
hell yeah,
kind of just pop in there. So it was good.
Oh man, that is great.
Yeah. No, he's good people, man. I really respect Kid Ink and even his manager, Ill Will too. Good people, man. Really good people. They've always looked out, and fuck, they gave me my first real check in music.
First plaque
too.
That record went gold. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, bro.
So you got a couple hanging on the wall now.
Yeah, I got a few still. I got a few.
Oh man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Future.
Yeah. So Future. Well, it's actually Black.
It's the
X Calling.
Calling.
Same record. Future put out Perky's Calling.
Can we get into that?
Yeah, we can get into that.
I don't know.
We can get into that.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No. We can. I don't mind talking about it. To be honest, it was just kind of it was a weird situation, but definitely a lesson that I learned situation. Just about protecting yourself and having the right people around you. So I had a friend at the time who his brother was managing Southside, who's obviously Southside.
Producer, yeah.
Yeah, so it was actually a demo that I had written and recorded myself. I was singing on it.
Oh, it's a Mayflower project?
Yeah, like
Okay.
it was a Mayflower song.
Okay.
The song was called Dream World. And so I had done the keys, I had a different drums on it and my vocals on it. And then this guy had ended up Southside came to Toronto. His brother was managing him. They ended up playing him some of my stuff. They were trying to set up a session for us, and he ended up taking the song, sampling it, like putting the song in and just redoing the drums. And then he gave it to Future. I had no idea until the song came out. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, that's my song.
Man.
And yeah, so that was a whole thing. I kind of had to I had to sue Southside, obviously, and no litigators wanted to take it because it was a mixtape. Even though I knew that he had got paid for it, I couldn't really prove it.
Purple Rain wasn't a small mixtape.
Yeah, it was a big one.
It had some
It was a big
listens,
one,
yeah.
and they used my keys in Mask Off in the intro of the video. Yeah, which has
which is
I don't know.
I couldn't
half a billion views, maybe a billion. I don't know. So it's a whole thing. But his mistake was reselling the beat to Black, and I say his mistake because I do feel like he had many chances to make that right, and he didn't. He knew that I was suing him. He knew that he had stolen my song, and it was like a whole thing. So, yeah, see, almost half a billion on
views.
YouTube on the video. So,
With no
which
cut.
I haven't got paid for that, by the way. So, it's a crazy thing, bro. But he ended up reselling the beat to Black, and that was under a label situation through Interscope. So once he did that, then I was able to properly sue him and the label and get my money, get my credit, get my percentage, and I wasn't even being unrealistic. I wasn't like, yo, I want everything, which I could have been.
Mm-hmm.
I was fair with it still, even, after everything that it kind of went down. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's, it was a lesson in like, this industry is, it's not for like the faint of heart. Like,
Yeah.
people will steal your shit
Yep.
and not care at all. They'll make money off of you, not give a fuck. So it was just one of those things,
It's crazy to think too. Somebody like Southside, like it's not just some guy like coming up stealing from
Yeah,
other. Like
nah.
it's like he could have made that right.
That's what I'm saying. And it's
Right.
not like I wasn't being unrealistic with what I was asking for. It was very basic. More than anything, I just wanted my credit.
How sort of like new in the industry were you at this point? Like it must have been.
This was years ago. This must have been I want to say this was like 2016.
And like, had you been working with a lot of artists at that point? Like, because it kind of seems just like you were younger in the game. You know what I mean? Like trying to get
For
your
sure.
work out
For
there,
sure.
and
And
somebody took advantage of it.
Yeah, he didn't know who I was at the time. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely since then I've definitely got way more things than that moment. So, and I think he definitely knows who I am now. And and it's like I still don't feel no ways towards him. I think people that do business like that and make those type of decisions, they have, full circle moments, karma.
It'll come
They
back.
have shit that comes back.
Absolutely.
And it's like he's gonna have tough situations. He's already had tough situations. He got dropped from Interscope. He went through shit. Like he's, I wish him all the best. He's gonna be successful, I'm sure. He's a staple name as far as, trap producers and stuff. But, obviously I got to get paid and I got to get my credit, and
course,
I got to
man.
make sure my business is straight too. So
Of course.
can't, I'm not going to let someone
No, you
just
can't let
steal
someone
my
steal.
shit.
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, man. Southside is banned from the podcast. you can be
I
cool.
wouldn't even be mad,
you
bro.
can be cool with him. I'm making it official.
I wouldn't even be mad,
He
bro.
is
to be
banned
honest.
from here.
That's funny.
We've built up to some stuff. Let's talk about Jazmine.
Yeah.
That track's
fuck,
insane, dude.
man.
And like that album, I love it. Like it's not I try not to sing the words. like you know what I mean?
I was gonna
it's
say.
it's in my head all day, but it's like
It's not one of the ones you like pull up pull up on the homies bumping.
It's
and
not
shit with the
Purple Rain.
windows down,
Like, yeah, it's
But
a different. It's a beautiful
it's a
album,
vibe,
man.
bro. It's definitely. I mean, you got a beautiful lady at home
Mm-hmm.
that's like put that shit on. Like that shit is, man. She's special, bro. And it's funny because like I'm sure you remember like BET when in the younger days, like Lions and Tigers and Bears, that shit. I think it still plays on there like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a record. And I think she was like respected at those times as being like an amazing singer, but I think now this is her moment now, like years later. Like she didn't drop music for 4 years. And then she came with these records and like kind of shifted everything. And I think like I was saying too about, real music kind of making a comeback. It's like artists like that taking a stand and staying true to their sound, true to like their artistry, that's gonna be the shift in the culture that we kind of need to get that, that real organic, just real love shit, that real life shit, as opposed to just like like, you know what I mean? It's like we need artists like that. We need music like that to like get by, especially with COVID and pandemic and everything that's going on that's so fucked up in America and out here. It's like we need like that soul saving kind of sound that's just gonna like make people think about what they're doing and the way they treat people, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a really interesting way to look at it, man. Because like I never really thought about it like that, but yeah, with everything going on, everything, right? Like you don't want to hear about like, oh, I'm in the club. I'm doing this.
We're
like,
not in the club.
Exactly. It doesn't really work right now, right? But yeah, man, like that's that's beautiful, man. It's a amazing album. It's amazing you're a part of it. Tell us like how did that come about? Like
so I've been sitting on that record for years.
Okay.
For
Damn.
years, yeah.
Man, how many things you got in the back pocket you're just like waiting to drop?
So many, bro. And that's like the tough part too about being in the game, being in like this music shit is like, sometimes you have a song that is a hit and it's gonna change your career, but you can't talk about it. You can't say anything. You can't even send it out. You can't show people. And it could be years.
Yeah.
Could be months. Could be years. And that was one of those records. I had actually, I got a call from my manager. This must have been 2018, I think, 2017, 2018. And he was like, yo, I got you into this song camp, but it's in Wenatchee, which is in Seattle. And he's like, you need to book your flight right now, and you leave like tomorrow. And I was like, Seattle. I'm like, that sounds whack.
Who do we know in Seattle?
Like I'd been, I was like already like in LA majority of the year, and I was just like, man, I don't want to. Something like Seattle, and he didn't really give me details on it. He was just like, yo, it's a camp. It's with Ryan Lewis. Ryan Lewis Macklemore. I don't know if you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So they had a lot of success. I was like not crazy about the sound that they were on, so I was just like, I was like, cool, let's just do it. So I booked it. It was a crazy flight, three planes and like a really small plane to get into this place called Wenatchee, which is like in the middle of in the mountains. And I get there. There's like the driver picks me up from the airport with the sign and shit. Like,
do you know where you're going at this point?
No.
Still no, eh? Okay,
No.
okay, yeah, crazy.
No idea. So they picked me up and they lost my luggage. The flight lost my luggage. I was pissed. And so whatever, we end up like driving up through the mountains, and I'm like kind of sketching out because I'm like, I don't even know this dude that's driving me. It was just kind of weird. And then we like drive through these orchards and pull up, and there's like this huge ranch in the middle of the mountains, like this crazy like ranch. Can't even really describe it. It was just massive, and like it's Ryan Lewis's house, and it's like he has like a $10 million like separate house studio that's like top of the line shit, everything you would want there. He has like full court basketball. He has a VR room. He has ATVs. There's like deer just like running around outside, like huge Olympic pool, and bro, everything in this place. There's like runners that just like whatever you want, they just go and get it for you and come back. So I like pull up, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I don't know anybody there. It's like a bunch of random people there. So it's just kind of like you know, it's like awkward. It's like first day of school shit. Like
Yeah, like you went to summer camp.
yeah. So I like, you know, I'm just doing the small talk, have a couple drinks, just trying to like connect with people, make friends or whatever to see like, you know, who I'm gonna kind of vibe with. And so everyone was like super cool. Like there's some heavy hitters there, like as far as songwriters and producers. So it was crazy. And then I think on the third day or the fourth day, I came up with the chords for Pick Up Your Feelings on the piano. They had like a big live room with just like different pianos and whatever. And I came up with the chords and I was like, ooh, these are hard. And I had an idea that in my head for like this beat. So I went in the studio, and I was working with this chick, Audra May, who actually ended up being on the Jazmine version as well. But she wrote this song, not Pick Up Your Feelings, a different song on this beat. And I made the beat in about an hour. She wrote the song in 15 minutes. She one-taked it. It was an amazing record. But as I was working on the beat, this other writer from Nova Wave, I don't know if you've heard of Nova Wave, but they're huge. Like, they're a writing producing duo. Well, this girl Blue is like the writer. She popped her head in. She was like, yo, what is this? Like, this beat sounds crazy. And she sat in there for like 10 minutes, and then she had written like the hook for Pick Up Your Feelings. And so she went into the other room. She's like, yo, send me that beat. I sent it to her. She ends up cutting Pick Up Your Feelings in the other room. And then I cut the other song with the other writer on the same beat. So I had like two like amazing songs on this one beat. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. And it's funny because like I think Kalani had cut Pick Up Your Feelings, Normani cut it. And a couple other artists had taken it and they wanted it for themselves.
So everybody wanted the beat.
Yeah. And it was like no one, like it didn't really fit anyone. Like it was good but not great with these other people. And then randomly I got a call. This would have been 2019. I got a call from Jazmine's manager somehow. I don't even know how to this day, but she somehow had my number. She called me and she's like, hey, I'm Jazmine's manager. And just letting you know, like Jazmine cut this record. And I haven't heard shit from Jazmine in like 5 years. You know, I'm like, oh, Jazmine. I'm like, yeah, she was dope. Like, I haven't really heard anything from her. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to send it to you. So she sends it to me. And I was in a session. I think I was in rehearsal for Ty, like for a show for Ty.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yo. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, and I just kept listening to it back. I'm like, bruh, this is it. Like, this is the one. Like, she bodied it.
Was it was like the version, the full?
Yeah,
pretty close.
It was like close to the final.
Man. And then you were like, this is the one.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, she bodied it. And then the song didn't end up coming out for a year from that point. So it's like I was sitting on that record for like 2 years, and then she got it, and then it didn't come out for a year. And it was like, you know, everything got delayed because of COVID and everything. But like the way they rolled it out was like really good. And I mean, it's doing what it's
numbers,
doing.
Yeah,
it's doing what it's doing.
It's crazy, man. I mean, it's a beautiful beat. It's a beautiful song. I find myself just screaming the chorus all the time. Like,
yeah, the memes be killing
it's
me, bro.
great,
It's like,
man.
Yeah, but
it's the perfect track in that sense. Like it's really well done. Like it's very marketable. Jazmine didn't she just did the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she did
Did you sing
the
like
anthem.
Yeah, man, like
National anthem.
Like you gotta.
She did the Soul Train Awards. They've really been like pushing her, and she's been getting a lot of good looks on it. So, I mean, I'm just happy and just blessed that like that song finally, you know, people are able to hear it like how I heard it when I first heard it. I was like,
it is.
you know?
It's amazing, man. It's even
Yeah.
like it's even placed beautifully on the album. Like
Yeah, they
way-
did a
the
really,
way it
really
comes
good
in, it's
job
like-
on the album. Yeah,
it's
it's kind of a good kitty, good kid, Mad City esque in the sense of like how the skits
yes.
tie into each song, and you know what I mean. Like it's
It's funny.
well put
I wouldn't
together.
have compared those two right away.
Yeah.
Like, but it's very almost like a concept album. Like it's
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
whole kind of running theme,
and it's not too long.
and it's not too long.
You know, it's like the kids can actually take that in, and they're not gonna be like, okay, I'm tired of this like 18 song, 20 song project. It's like it's a good length.
That's funny, man. Speaking of kids, there's something I saw. I might be telling the story wrong, so just let me know if I am. But a song you produced for 1111, it really blew up because it got, was it like on TikTok? A TikTok star or a YouTube guy said to start viewing it.
I think. I mean, maybe.
It's funny because I saw like I was looking it up and had like a lot more views and everything else. I was going through the
Yeah.
comments
Oh,
and
was
they were
it
all saying,
you?
they all
You?
say, yeah. They
Yeah,
say
yeah.
this. He sent me like that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
A song could be out for a bit and then it becomes a
Yeah.
TikTok sensation or something.
Yeah, like and I mean that's the dope thing too about like, you know, I'm seeing like old Nelly songs that are like all of a sudden charting again, and like, you know, it's just like random old songs that are like on the Hot 100 again because of TikTok and because of these apps where people are just promoting them and there's little challenges associated with them. So it's dope in a sense where, you know, some of these artists probably were signed into bad deals while they were going through that time in their life, and then now their masters have been reverted back to them, and then now they get a hit again on an old song and make a shitload of money and they own it again. So it's like, it's kind of cool to, you know, that shit can kind of come back in that sense.
definitely. I mean, that's got to be a big reason too why you got to watch what you're signing and that, right? Like,
Yeah.
because 10 years from now,
Yeah.
that song could be a hit again, right? Are you aware that you have a Japan Gold Disc Award?
No.
I found this in my
What?
research for the
Nah, bro.
for the Fate of the Furious soundtrack.
I'm not aware.
It won the Japan Gold Disc Award for soundtrack of the
way.
year.
No way.
Congratulations!
You guys are going to have to send that to me.
I had a feeling that might be a plaque you didn't know about. When I was
Yeah.
going through your achievements,
Yeah.
that was one that stood out.
Wow, that's crazy. No, I had no idea about that.
That's a pretty amazing record too, man.
Yeah,
You're on the
That was dope. That was a really cool experience actually. That was the first time I had done a major soundtrack song. That was just like that was a crazy ass story and experience, just because I had just met my manager who's managing me now, and he connected someone from my publishing company, connected me with him, and we had one conversation. And you know, the turnover rate in LA and within this industry for A&Rs and managers is very quick. You know, it's like whoever's hot, that's where the attention is. When it's not, everyone's kind of gone. So
What have you done for me lately?
exactly. So we had one conversation. I liked his vibe. You know, we kind of connected right off the bat. My boy Wallace, shout out Wallace, and he has sent me this song for the Fast and Furious. He was like, "Yo, this is a song that they want to use for the Fast and Furious." And by the way, I get these type of things all the time, and they never work out. So like, I was like, cool, I'll take a shot at it. You know, it's the first thing we're gonna do. I'll take a shot at it. So I ended up doing a version, and they really liked it. And I was like, you know, it's kind of rare, because they have, you know, with movie stuff, they have so many people working on it that it's tough to land a final, just because they have like the biggest, the best, the brightest in the game, in the industry that's working on this album, you know, because they have so much money. The budget is so big for just the music that they can afford to get anyone they want. So everyone's doing versions. They ended up liking my version. I was leaving to go visit my brother in South Africa for like a month, and I wasn't gonna bring my computer, because I was like, I was kind of in a bad place creatively. I was like, man, I need a break, and maybe this is a good time for me just to relax, not think about music. And I was like, man, but that song, like, and I was like, you know what, let me just bring it. So I brought it. It was a super hassle. I brought like my full studio setup. So I brought like my big ass laptop
To South Africa.
yeah, my interface, headphones, everything. And then when I was out there, they ended up being like, hey, we want you to make these changes. We want you to make these revisions. So I ended up doing, I think I did 15, I think it was 17 versions of this song. Spent over 100 hours doing revisions while on holiday with my brothers, and ended up landing the song. And out there, it's like they don't have Wi-Fi like how we have it out here. Like you have to go to like internet cafes. So I was like doing versions, running over to the internet cafe in Africa and fucking sending off versions. And then I ended up getting a call being like, you got it. This is it.
Man.
Fits the scene perfectly. This you got it. And I was like, no way, because like that's a different bag. That's a different kind of money when you get into the movie shit. It's like, and I knew that already, so I was like, this is gonna be amazing. So when I went back to LA, when I got back home, I went to LA a couple weeks after that, and actually they took me on set, on the Fast and Furious set.
Damn.
I got to meet the whole sound crew and the people that like all the camera people. They brought me into the screening room. It was like this crazy room, bro, where this dude was like sitting in the middle, surrounded by screens, and he was like watching the movie like this, like
insane, man. I couldn't even imagine the kind of budget there is
So
with the
nuts,
Fast and the
bro.
Furious.
yeah.
Like,
And they showed me the scene. They're like, yeah, you have the last song in the movie. It's the end scene before the end credits.
amazing, man.
And it was like, yeah, I was just like, holy shit, it was wild.
What's the name of the track?
Don't Get Much Better.
Don't Get Much Better.
It's Ty Dolla $ign, Jeremiah, and Sage the Gemini.
Hell yeah! Everybody
Yeah.
check that out. Go watch. It's Fate of the Fast and Furious. Right?
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious. I always mess those titles up. I did my research.
There's like 25
That-
movies,
man.
like,
They don't just go Fast and the Furious 1, 2. It's
They try to be cute with the fucking
the too fast.
They try to get cute
Yeah.
with it, bro. It's just confusing. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But
Oh
yeah.
man, yeah, that's incredible, man. So that record went gold. Is that right?
That went gold.
That went
as well,
gold.
Yeah.
You got a platinum record with Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You got a platinum record with Black.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, and the Black Project was nominated for a Grammy.
Nominated
as well.
for a Grammy.
And I think the Jazmine.
I-
I think the Jazmine shit is.
I was gonna say it, man. That's got to be
That
album of the
shit's-
year so far,
yeah,
right?
that
Like,
shit's heading there.
I don't know if you're a superstitious guy, so I didn't want to be the one putting it out there. But that's God.
I mean, I'm manifesting that shit.
hell
to be
yeah.
honest,
Then
bro.
I'm putting it out
Like,
there. That's
yeah,
got.
that
There's
shit
Grammy talk all
definitely-
around that.
Definitely, and I think a lot of people in the industry too have reached out and been like, "Yo, that's something special." So, again, just blessed, bro, to be a part of
No, that's
something
incredible,
like that,
man.
bro.
Hell yeah! Congratulations, man. Congratulations on everything
I
happening.
appreciate that, bro.
A couple more things. I'd like to talk about Ty a little bit too.
Yeah.
Your first artist signed?
Actually, I signed 1111.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You're building a stable.
Building a little stable. We parted ways. 1111, like our deal kind of expired with him. But yeah, so Ty, I've known Ty maybe about 5 years, and so we've been working like the whole time, kind of on and off. He was in a different phases. I think he kind of started music later on, so he hadn't kind of found his sound yet. Excuse me. So he was just kind of experimenting with different projects, different sounds to kind of see what works. And I think in the last 2 years, we really kind of honed in together, and we were like, yo, we actually work really well together. And so we have we just been going crazy. We went through a whole rebrand. Obviously he's Runway.
Hell yeah.
Runway the Catwalker, and I think it kind of fits his
I think
aesthetic
it's perfect.
a little bit better, because he's definitely out there with personality, style.
Yes.
Very eccentric, very Prince meets Young Thug.
Man.
Very on that kind of vibe, and that's kind of what we want to capture too with the music, and that's why it was like us kind of coming together was kind of a perfect situation, just because I think I bring the radio sensibility to the obscurity
Yes.
of what is his style, and so I kind of pull him a little more into the middle musically, and then also with I help out a lot with directing the videos, some of the photo shoots and stuff. Like obviously, it's been nice just to be like 360 creative with the process. Where some artists will just like they just want beats and they want to do their own thing. It's like Ty and I work really well together, even coming together with just video concepts and stuff like that. Like we're just both creative and we kind of like we just work well together. So it's been dope just to be able to dive into different things other than music, and also run the business and kind of take on like a manager-esque kind of role, I guess, in a sense of just decision making and planning shit out. So it's been dope, and we got a lot of shit, bro. We got some crazy shit.
Hell yeah,
coming
that's
out
something I wanted to
very
ask, man. I was
soon.
gonna say this too.
Yeah.
I've always anybody who's I've ever talked to about him,
Hmm.
I've always said he'd be like the easiest transition into superstardom.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like you're saying, the way he
He's a
dresses, the
star.
way he carries himself, he's
Star.
already there, man. He's just
Yeah.
waiting for other people to find out.
Yeah, yeah.
Kinda like,
And people are like, the problem with Toronto, I think specifically, is that people hate until we have an American cosign. People don't want to like something that's different,
I was
especially
gonna
like
say,
him.
especially something different.
Yeah.
You don't want to put yourself out there.
People
as
are
the
like,
guy.
oh, that's weird, or that's like too much
no, it's
for
cool.
me. But
It's
it's
different.
like once someone in LA or once one of these big artists is like, yo, this dude is fire and his style is crazy, everyone's gonna be jumping on it. So you might as well just start now, because this shit's gonna happen. It's inevitable, like he's a star. Like even his
100%.
performances and stuff, like he has it,
Man,
He's
absolutely.
special.
Yeah, you can do like a huge room, a small room, and like it's the same. He'll get
Yeah.
everyone in there is jumping by the end.
That's what I mean. It's you've been to one of the shows, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. He shot a video here back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, man.
I think
Yeah.
I was in that video too.
Shout out. Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, dude, you got some. You're gonna get an
some-
IMDb
some
page.
Yeah, OnlyFans dropping soon.
Damn,
bro.
that's the exclusive that we were promised.
That might be too exclusive. Shit, I might need a check for that one. God damn.
Damn. This is for the Patreon. This one's-
Yeah, fuck.
Oh man. Yeah. So shout out Runway.
Shout out Runway, my dog. I already know. Really
Man,
proud of
yeah.
Runway, man.
Huge,
Like,
huge things coming from you guys for
yeah,
sure.
definitely, bro. And one thing I will say about him too is like, he's amazing with taking criticism and being constructive with it. So like when a lot of artists, like they don't respect your opinion. If you're like, hey man, I think you could do this better, they'll be like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So with Ty, it's like, if I'm like, hey bro, like I think we could get this part better, he's like, yo, let's do it right now. Like he's just ready
Huge, yeah.
to make the song the best it can be. And I think that's like the most important trait that he has, is like his work ethic and his ability to want to make the song better. So it's like it's rare, and it's just nice to see for a change.
No, I can't say enough good things about him, man. And it's kind of like something I was mentioning earlier, like when you brought the 3-pack to Game. It's like you've got an ear, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like this isn't just like a guy who's like somebody did for you to sign.
Yeah.
You can tell like this is you. I
Something.
see you've got the plan.
Yeah.
Like and like just knowing him, like I really believe, you guys are a dynamic duo, man.
Yeah,
That'll,
man. I mean, I like to think so, and I think when people hear some of the new stuff, to me, it's undeniable. It's like you can say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be singing the song when you're all alone. You're gonna be like, oh shit.
Pricey's a jam, man.
Pricey's a jam, bro, and it's going up.
Yeah,
it's doing numbers.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you haven't yet, go check out Pricey.
Check it out.
Runway the Catwalker,
Hey,
produced by Diesel.
hey.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Let's wind her down a little. I've
Cool.
kept to here a little
No,
bit.
it's all good, bro.
There was one thing I really wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
You have a snippet on your Instagram, unreleased music with Nipsey.
Mm-hmm.
That's I got to know about that. Man.
Oh man, that's a crazy story, bro.
R.I.P. Nipsey,
Yeah, R.I.P.
Tragic.
Legend,
Yeah.
legend.
young legend, man. That's a
Yeah, that was a really crazy story, man. I'm sad that record never came out.
Is there any chance of like a posthumous?
I
release,
don't
or-
know, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's crazy though with that beat. So that beat, when I made that beat, I was like, this is Drake. Like this is going to Drake. And it actually did go to Drake. I think Boy Wonder had sent it to Drake or something. I think Drake had some shit on it, but it never didn't end up using it, and he gave it to French Montana. French Montana leaked it on a mixtape. Had to sue French Montana. I won that case, and so I got my rights back for that. And then Meek Mill took that beat. So Meek was on it. He was gonna put it on Dreams.
It was the one. It was the one that started the Drake beef because it had
Yeah.
it had Rico on it.
Yeah,
I forget what the album. Was. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the one with Rico and Ambitions was on it too.
Yes,
One
yes,
that
yes,
one.
yes.
So it was supposed to be on that project, and it didn't end up. They ended up pulling it off the project like last minute. Like I already had the paperwork, and they pulled it, which was, it happens. Whatever. And then Meek ended up, that whole shit happened with Drake. It was kind of like Meek was on the outs. No one was kind of fucking with him because, he came at Drake.
It wasn't a great time for Meek.
And then he got locked up. And then, obviously what was kind of amazing was when he was going through all this turmoil, it's like he kind of became like the people's champ, especially for black people in America, and like everything he was going through, just, being locked up for doing a wheelie on a dirt bike, which was some type of breach of parole. And it was just like a ridiculous case where the judge was clearly, infatuated with him and had some type of weird situation with him. And so it was like this kind of like awakening moment in America where they were like, yo, there's real injustice, against black people and, against people of color or anyone that's been wrongfully incarcerated, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like a big moment. And then they, right before Meek got out, we got the call saying, yo, this is the first song he wants to put out when he gets out of jail. And I was like, you guys are still trying to put this out? Like, and so they ended up, as soon as he got out, he dropped that song and performed it at the BET Awards that year. That was 2018. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was just a crazy, like, monumental thing. But what I meant to say when I went on that tangent right there was that Nipsey, in between all that, Nipsey had taken that beat and cut that record on it. And they had got Rick Ross on it. And they wanted to put it out. And I think they ended up not putting that record out. It happens a lot. Like, I know I keep saying, like, yo, this happened. But, like, that shit happens all the time. Mm-hmm. So they had sent me versions. I was, like, doing different versions for Nipsey. And it just never ended up getting picked up, And then, obviously, he's passed now. But I just wanted to, like, share that clip because I always felt like that song was, like, amazing. And even if you listen to the lyrics and the stuff he's talking about in that record, it's like he's touching on all the things that, people are saying after he's gone. And everything he's saying is, like, real shit that happened to him and, situations he's been through and his family's been through. So it was just, like, one of those moments, bro. Just, it's just crazy to, have been able to work with someone like him. And, obviously he's a legend. And it's just crazy, like, that, like, one beat could travel through so many different hands.
Amazing hands too, right?
Yeah, like it's just wild, bro. It's wild to think about.
It's crazy, man. It's got to be like when you sit down and think about it. It's got to be crazy thinking about who has like heard and been on and on Diesel beats. Like
it's crazy, bro.
For a kid from Ajax, man. Like
little fucking punk from Ajax.
It's wild, dude.
Wild,
it's amazing what you've accomplished, man.
Nah, I appreciate that, bro. I mean, I definitely have a long way to go. I'm not even close to where I want to be.
Nowhere but up, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
no, you got big things. Let me ask you, just kind of wind it up here. What's next? Like, what should anybody listening to this who's like taking in the interview, just fucking with you now? Like, what should they go check out? What's next? What should they be looking out for?
I mean, that's a good question, man. I mean, I've been doing a lot of shit with my boy Smino. Me and Smino, we got some crazy vibes, but definitely like I'm working a lot on like the Dreamville stuff. So like Jid, Boz, some stuff with Earth Gang and Smino definitely on the rap side. But I'm just I'm just trying to honestly find that new shit, that new artist. You know, I'm really focused on runway stuff. Yep. I think now we're in a place where it's getting placements is tough. You know, it's like there's so many new artists every day that come up with their producer. You know what I mean? So I really want to break an artist, and obviously runway, that's kind of my main focus as far as just breaking an artist and having kind of a new sound. But I'm definitely working on a lot of different projects. You know, I'm trying to be on everything. You know, obviously Cole shit too, and then I mean, whatever, man. Whatever sounds great, whatever inspires me is what I'm gonna be on. So
love it, man.
Yeah.
Can we when let's say Cole, there's a surprise Cole drop coming. Can we expect to hear Diesel on it? Without giving, you know,
I mean,
I feel like I'm beating around the bush here.
I'm gonna say no, because I know. I mean, he's got a couple things that he's working on.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just say no.
Okay.
On that, and then leave it at that. And you know, I'm sure you guys will see soon enough what kind of, you know, Cole's been working on. But no, I've been doing some stuff with Sway Lee too. I got some vibes with Sway Lee, and yeah, man, Lucky Day too. Got a few joints.
There's a few things like I'm looking over my notes here. I've skipped over, but you just got a resume, man. It's hard to cover.
No, it's honestly been a great 6 months, bro. I've had a really nice 6 months of just you know, like in my R&B bag kind of shit. Like I had the Trey song, Sway Lee. You know, I had 4 joints on the Queen Naija, one with Jacquees, one with Lucky Day, and then one with Russ.
Yep.
And then you know, Pick Up Your Feelings. And then the Lucky Day album just came out, and you know, it's just like a lot of good energy, and I like that it's getting traction, and you know, the records are doing well, and it's you know, in R&B, which is dope for me, because it's kind of my, you know, kind of back to my roots of like church, and you know, so it's definitely nice just to kind of get that recognition, and you know.
Hell yeah. No, that's amazing, man. Let me ask you, so you've got massive hits, massive songs. What's something that maybe didn't get like the traction like you thought it would? What's a song that like you like that didn't really get mainstream kind of looks? You know what I mean? What's something that stands out to you? Like, man, how come this one didn't go? Like, you got one that you kind of think of, or you just assume they're all gonna blow?
No, not always. To be honest with you, it's rare for me to like a song that I put out. I think by the time it's ready to go out, I've listened to it so many times that I'm just like, I'm cool on this.
Yeah, y'all enjoy it.
But nah, like even some of the earlier stuff that me and Ty had done, we had this record called Dun-Na.
I love that track, man.
Yeah,
dun,
like
dun,
that
dun,
shit. Yeah, like that to me, I was like, man, this song's so ahead of its time, and we might actually do a re-release on that. Just because I felt like that record was like super wavy, and I just thought people maybe just weren't ready for it, you know.
I love those drops you guys did, like the 3 tracks. Yeah, man. Yeah, Metro
those
Flower.
Shout
out
like,
Metro Flower.
We might get, we might get back to that, bro. We might get back to that.
How do you dun? How do you say it?
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I can't say it without doing the chorus.
Yeah,
that's an earworm or whatever they call it, man.
Yeah.
I literally just found myself walking around. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just catchy, bro. You just like it. You don't even know why.
Super catchy, man.
But I mean, yeah, we just like, for us, it was like important to get fans, you know. And I think we had to dial it back, find the right sound, find the right brand, the right name, and kind of reassess things. And then now we're on the right track where, you know, our streams are going up consistently. We've kind of created a nice fan base. So now it's a little easier for us to say, hey, here's a 3-track EP, here's another song. Like it's less pressure, and you know, it's just more fun in the sense where we know it's gonna be, you know, taken in more seriously. It's gonna get playlisted. It's gonna, like, you know, reach people, as opposed to, you know, dropping shit without knowing if it's gonna do anything or not.
Well, if you ever need to reshoot the video, you just let me know.
Got you, bro. I need you guys to style it, bro. Come through and with the fits.
Yeah, we got you, man.
Yeah, please.
Hell yeah. Honestly, I think we're pretty cool here, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one thing to kind of sign off.
Cool.
Up and coming producers. What would you tell a young Diesel fan? You know, somebody who sees
young
you
Diesel fan.
somebody who sees you making big moves in the industry and that. You know, maybe an Ajax Ute.
An Ajax Ute.
What's something important, like, you know?
I would, you know what? That's a good question, bro. I would say, as cliche as it might sound, like, stay true to yourself. You know, it's very easy to get lost in this game, in this industry. It's very easy to, like, forget where you came from. And I think a lot of people from Toronto that do make it tend to forget on purpose because they wanna be cool and they wanna be, you know, the LA in that kind of in that scene. So I mean, I'll just say, and I've definitely been there too. You know, it's overwhelming when you go in these situations. You're around superstars. You're around, you know, beautiful women. It's very easy to kind of lose sight of what's important, lose sight of home, and you know. So I think it's important just to stay grounded. You know who was there before you got on, and always keep those people close to you. Don't switch up and get all new friends once you start getting money, because those people won't last. Yeah, just, you know, family. Stay with your family.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it, bro. Really, just stay grounded. You know, keep God first. Keep your mind straight. And just don't conform and don't change for what other people want. Just stay true to, like, yourself. And I think that's something I'm still, like, learning how to do. You know, it's easy to you know, change who you are to kind of, like, fit into a situation or to be more likable. But it's like people respect you for being you. And it's like,
That's something you find out as you get older, right?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I could have told myself that, you know, my young self, it's like, I don't even know where I'd be right now. I'd probably be at the top for sure. But yeah, it's like,
it's also
it's
like
important.
we're saying, man. It's like you got dropped off at the coolest summer camp in the world, right?
Yeah,
like it's
for
hard.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
hard to just be so level headed.
Nah, definitely.
No,
But,
man. I mean, seeing where you're at now, I'd say things are working out and
I mean, shit.
nowhere to go but up, man.
Appreciate that, bro.
Diesel, thanks a lot, man. This has been a pleasure.
It's
Thank
been
you for
good,
being
man.
on episode 2.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Hell
You
yeah.
already know.
We're gonna do all your socials and stuff at the start because
Okay,
nobody
cool.
really tags in at the end.
Yeah,
So
cool.
yeah, so just to sign out here, this has been episode 2, Gabbin with Gavin. We're with platinum producer Diesel,
Yeah.
Grammy nominated. It's been a pleasure having you in the studio, man. Thanks
Man,
a lot.
appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Hell yeah.